To move on, as I mentioned, it's going to be a heck of an evening. Now, joining us on the We Women Want 2025 Conclave on the platform to further this conversation, and one of our Shakti awardees who will be receiving her award in just a few minutes from now. She requires no introduction, but it is going to be a very, very interesting conversation. Could I request Dia Mirza to come and join us on stage, and Uday Pratap Singh will carry on with the conversation. Uday, back to you.
Thank you. Okay. Hello and welcome. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on our special Conclave, NewsX, We Women Want and Shakti Awards 2025. And we have with us now a person who, of course, needs no introduction. She's been an actor. She's also, of course, a champion for many causes, including, of course, gender rights, human rights, and more importantly, the environment. She's also an acclaimed producer. We're going to be talking about a lot in our next session with Dia Mirza. Welcome. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Uday. It's my pleasure. I've already seen some women I am so deeply inspired with, and I love and admire, and it's an august room to be in the midst of. Thank you.
It's become more august with your presence, of course. Let me begin by asking you, of course, about your first reaction. You're going to be honored very, very shortly with the NewsX Shakti Award for Excellence in Environmental Impact. Your first comment to that.
I'm grateful. I think, being acknowledged for something that you've been consistently persevering to achieve is just incentive to continue to do what you're doing. And I'm just really, really happy that more and more people within my fraternity are using their platform and voice to speak up for animal rights, conservation, and environmental protection. I think that in some ways, perhaps some of my actions and my perseverance may have inspired them. And I hope we can continue to kind of mobilize such efforts, because it will take people from all walks of life to protect the health of the planet so that we may survive and so that our children may experience a healthy life.
Yes, absolutely. And you're doing that, of course, in a very powerful and impactful manner. But I also have to ask you, since it's a Shakti Award, where does Dia Mirza derive her inner Shakti from?
I think every woman has it, which is why it's called Shakti. But it takes for, inspiring and powerful women in your life for you to discover your innate Shakti. And I think in my case, just seeing my mother rise above the challenges, the curveballs, and the vicissitudes that she had to experience, and to do it with grace and strength and dignity. And I've never heard my mother speak ill of anybody. And she's always, conveyed so much love and grace and strength to every person that she's interacted with. And I think that is where I get my Shakti from, because she's been my biggest inspiration and teacher.
When was it, Dia, that you realized this passion for the environment? Was it a moment? Was it an incident? What was it?
I think passion is born from experience and learning. I was taught to love nature from a very young age. Of course, our connection with nature is innate, but as urban kids, we can forget that connection. So it's integral to the growing up years where we, learn to engage with nature and thereby discover our love for it. So I grew up loving nature, and it was in my early 20s when I was out in the field, in a forest actually, watching a tigress on the hunt in Pench, Madhya Pradesh, and interacting with the forest guards and discovering how many hundreds of miles they walk, sometimes bare feet, with something as basic as just a chhadi, a lathi. With such meager means and such invisible support, and the kind of challenges that they confront on a daily basis. Of course, the immediate threat of the wild, being out in the forest. Then, of course, the threat of the calamities that one can experience in the wild. But that aside, the mafias, the miners, the extraordinary, pressures that one experiences because of other various people trying to get to the resources that they are protecting, and of course, poachers. And to my mind, this was the work that the army was doing, the air force is doing, the navy is doing. They're, of course, protecting our land. But the forest guards or the rangers, or what we call the Van Rakshaks, what they are protecting is what ensures that we have water to drink, we have food to eat, we have breathable air. And the fact that there was just not enough attention being given to the dire situation that these people were in, and of course the fact that we were losing so much forest cover to development and urbanization, and we were also losing forest cover to fragmentation.
Yes.
It was something very basic, and I'd like to share this with everyone here or there. India has the second largest population in the world. Has it become the largest now? It has. So when I started out, it was the second largest population. Now, of course, it is the largest population in the world that lives on a very tiny geographical landmass on the planet. And so the pressure on our resources for the means that we require to survive and sustain life is extraordinary. And only 2.5% of our geographical land is left as dense forest. And this 2.5% is what is securing our water, our air, our soil, regulating our climate. And it felt like such a scary thing, because I was like, there are just so many of us who need all of this, and we just don't have enough people doing more to protect what we need to.
But have you seen, through your journey and through, of course, your, your passion for the cause and also the work that you've done for the cause, a change overall in India
When I started
towards in the environment, towards climate change, towards these issues?
I think there were remarkable people working in silos in the early 2000s, which is when I started becoming a part of the movement to protect environment and planetary health. Today, I think we have far more people understanding the connection between environmental health and human health. Do we have as much participation as is required to truly conserve and preserve what is left? And of course, re-stabilize the health of our natural world? No. And that's the harsh reality. We have some powerful campaigns launched by the governments. One of them is Mission Life, which is, I think, a very accessible tool to really bring about behavioral change. I don't know if enough people are accessing these, opportunities and really making good of them. But yes, there is a significant improvement or shift because we have collectively experienced such an intensity, frequency of climate and environmental degradation. I mean, we all understand what air pollution is doing to our health. We are all witnessing what the frequency of flash floods and drought is doing and the intensity with which it is arriving. We all recognize now how intense the heat waves are, what the heat island effect is in our cities. So these are not distant realities or distant images of a melting iceberg. in a far off place. These are things that we are seeing here and now. And I think that is making many more people recognize that it is then, therefore, the here and now that will matter and count. And we all need to collectively do much more to change the here and now.
I can see the United Nations representative also here. Of course, the UN had appointed you as well. And now, of course, Bhumi also from the industry is working for the environmental cause. But as far as your representing the country is concerned, we all remember when you did at Miss Asia Pacific. And of course, you won that as well. Just take us through that moment and how big a change that was for your life and, career ahead.
It was a paradigm shift to there. I was a simple Hyderabadi girl who had dreams to be financially independent. Growing up, that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to be financially independent. And I started working very young. I started working at 16 and a half. And when I won the Miss India with Lara and Priyanka, and each of us set off for our international pageants, we were told and we believed that we were winners. But when Lara and Priyanka both won that year and it was time for my contest, I remember speaking with Pradeep Guha, who is the person in charge. And I said, I'm not going to win. They're not going to give it to me. And he said, don't forget that if they don't give it to you, it's their loss, not yours. So I think it's a very powerful thing that I always remember, and I look back with a lot of gratitude, because sometimes when you're on your own in a foreign country, so far away from family and friends and home, and you are striving to establish your identity, it is often just a simple thing that somebody may say to you out of just simple kindness that can really change everything for you. So I walked onto that world stage believing I was a winner because somebody said that they believed I was.
And it turned out, we all know, as they say, the rest is history. Now, these days, in sports events, and particularly in cricket, there's an award given at the end of every match. It's called the Game Changer of the Match Award. For you, when you look back at your career right now, and of course, there are many more, I'm sure, game-changing roles which are coming up, but which for you has been that game-changing role or film, or one or two?
I think my answer might surprise you, but I feel actors are most often only as good as their life experience. I think what you can reflect and give to a part comes from your lived experience. What are you capable of feeling, and at what level? And I think the game-changing moment in my life was the day I became a mother. It changed everything for me. I think I had a cellular shift. I'm able to empathize more deeply and care much more and value what I have so much more than I perhaps ever did.
That's changed your approach, you believe, towards
everything.
Life, projects?
Everything.
Everything. So no film role, but becoming a mother has been your game changer.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. But I'm also very grateful, because I think if I look back at the last 8 stories that I've been a part of, I've been able to represent some really extraordinary women. And that has been something that is hard earned. It didn't just come, So I'm very grateful for that.
Okay. Well, I have to also ask you about RHTDM, Rehna Hai Tere Dil Mein, which re-released as well. Aajkal trend hai re-release ka, and I think this has been trending for a while on social media. How was that for you, the re-release of that project and the kind of love you got so many years after again?
It was extraordinary because a lot of people went to theaters to watch the film. My husband and my daughter watched it for the first time in theater with me. And it was remarkable to see the audience singing with the songs. That feeling of, you know, like we've done this when we watch Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge in the theaters, and you connect so deeply with a picture, and you fall in love with the actors in the movie, and you carry that love through life. And when I meet people across all age groups actually who walk up to me and they have this incredible warmth in the way they approach you, and you say, oh, I know that, I recognize that feeling. And it's the best gift any artist can ever receive, that kind of love. I mean, it's been special over the last 25 years. The re-release kind of and it was very interesting because a lot of people who were fans of the film and who had watched it at home over the years several times took their children to watch the film. So Maddie and I have now a whole new generation of love, which is great.
So does that mean a sequel could happen?
I don't know if a sequel would happen, but Maddie and I are now going to fervently ensure that we work together in a mature love story.
So let's manifest that.
Yes, let's manifest that.
Okay. If there were another project of yours that you'd like to re-release, what would that be? अगर आपके हाथ में था.
I would like to re-release Love Breakup Zindagi, which is the first film I produced.
Which incidentally you can, because you're also the
yeah,
producer.
I could
of that.
actually. I'm also the producer of that film. I'm saying this specifically because I meet a lot of young people who walk up to me and say, it's my go-to feel-good film. So whenever I'm feeling like dreary and down and out in life, I watch that film and it makes me happy. And I would love for a new generation of people to be, exposed to that joy.
Yes, I introduced you also as not just an actor, but of course many other things apart from producer as well. We have one of the most successful producers also with us now in the house. But in your producing, of course, is there a vision that you're looking at? Are you looking at more content for OTT or films, or does the medium not really matter?
I think we're medium agnostic. We want to be able to just tell stories that we care deeply about. And we've, started off, we're making short films. And interestingly, a lot of the work that we're doing is women-led. So it's not by design, it's just happening organically. So it's interesting.
That's a good thing to say at such an august gathering.
Yes. I mean, women have to stand up for each other and support each other.
Yeah. Finally, before we end with the rapid fire, have you seen that happen though in the industry? That over the years, this change has happened for women?
I belong to a group which is a force of nature. We're 9 really powerful, strong, extraordinary women. Each of us kind of look up to each other and are inspired by one another. And it's really nice to have that intergenerational respect and love and support. I think Shabana ji is coming here today, so she's a part of the gang. And she's the youngest person in our group. Yeah, it's amazing. Like, I'll give you a very interesting incident. So one day, we're all at lunch, we're 8, 9 of us. So she says, we should do a film, we should do something together. Let's do a play together, let's do a film together. So Richa Chadda, who's a part of the gang, says, I have just the right idea. She looks at it and she says, nothing serious, nothing intense. I just want to have fun. So she is the youngest amongst us.
That's something else that you can manifest now.
Yes.
But you did do a project, of course, like Dhak Dhak as well, where again you had a lot of fun. Okay, let's end with a rapid fire now. जैसे आप सुन सकते हैं कि हमारे सवाल तो चले ही जा सकते हैं, because Dia is of course answering it with such elan. But ready for rapid fire?
जी बिल्कुल.
Okay. What is the last holiday you took?
I was in Himachal with my children and my family.
Then that's probably the answer to my next question. Are you a mountains person or a beaches person?
I love both equally. As long as it's a natural environment, I'm happy.
Yes. With clean air.
Yes. Take me to clean air, take me to a forest, take me to a wild space, and I'm happiest.
Okay. What's your favorite cuisine?
Ghar ka khana. Anything cooked at home.
Okay. इतने सारे actors के संग आपने काम किया है. Who's your favorite co-star?
एक छोटी सी बच्ची है जिसका नाम दिशिता है. वो अभी उतनी छोटी नहीं है, लेकिन जब मैंने उसके साथ काम किया था एक शो में जिसका नाम काफिर है, वो सिर्फ 6 साल की थी. दुनिया की सबसे बेहतरीन आर्टिस्ट. इतना अच्छा लगा उसके साथ काम करके. मैं हमेशा ये कहती हूँ कि माँ बनने से पहले उस बच्ची ने मुझे माँ बनाया.
Amazing. Favorite cuisine?
बोल दिया मैंने, घर का खाना.
घर का खाना. कुछ भी.
As long as it's cooked at home, it's good.
Okay. And finally, then, a superpower that you wish you had.
I'd like to clean up all the plastic in our world.
Ah.
Just make it all disappear and make sure that none of it enters our lives or our homes or our natural environments anymore. Because I have to use this platform to share with everyone. और मैं बिल्कुल नहीं हिचकिचाती सबको ये याद दिलाने के लिए कि as per the recent scientific data, 1 teaspoon of plastic is being found in the human brain. Plastic particles have reached the bloodstream of babies. It's found in placenta. It's something that we can so easily avoid when avoidable. So I hope many more of us can avoid single-use plastics.
Absolutely, and that's why we are honoring you with the Excellence Award for Environmental Impact today. I think your last answer just summed up exactly why. Thank you so much, Dia Mirza, for joining us today. Let's hear it for her. Loud round of applause for Dia Mirza, who of course will be honored today, but was our special guest for this session.
Absolutely, Uday. Thank you so much for leading that conversation, and thank you, Dia, for being a part of We Women Want Conclave 2025 and the Shakti Awards as well. Ladies and gentlemen, the night is only beginning because we have amongst us another wonderful, extremely powerful